Hey Tribe, I'm Steph and this is Beth, and we are picking apart our core plank wave today. So we're going to talk a little bit about why we use the core plank wave here at Zen and Pow and break it down for you. So first off, typically you're going to see a vinyasa flow start with a forward fold, jumping back to plank, lowering chaturanga, and then moving on. So instead of doing that, we do a plank wave, and we're going to show you why. So Beth is going to demo a more traditional vinyasa, moving from that forward fold. So she's got her feet together, she does her big swan dive down, maybe a little half look, and then she brings the hands down and she jumps back to plank. So from there, typically you do the shift forward. Now already her wrists are beyond range. So she's putting a lot of pressure on her wrists and her shoulders. Lower her knees. I'm just going to show you as you go down. So typically you would do this from a regular plank position. You keep your elbows in nice and tight. You're lowering through a tricep push-up. So as she comes down, check out her shoulders, maybe dipping a little bit, and then she goes right into a back bend, which we're not going to talk about the back bend today. You can see that in our up dog chaturanga video, but you can see that this is really hard on the shoulders and the wrists, especially to do it perfectly in alignment. So we're going to practice it with a plank wave instead to keep the shoulders and wrists healthy. So she's going to come from her forward fold, maybe find a little roll up, inhale reaching through the center, exhale folding down, maybe a little half look, keeping the knees soft. She steps back to her down dog. So instead of jumping back to a plank, we're coming to down dog. Okay, so she's got her hands a little bit wider. We talked about down dog placement in our down dog video, so feel free to watch that if you need a breakdown on down dog. But first, she's gonna soften and ground down. And what this does is it prepares energy and prepares her joints and her body to get more expression and energy into the pose. So she's softening first, through the knees, through the elbows too, and then she's gonna lift her hips high. She's lifting her hips as high as she can, and then she's continuing to lift through the belly, through the front spine as she waves forward, which she may have to wiggle her toes back a little bit, depending on the length of your legs. Now she draws the shoulders back, she's got a neutral spine, she's lowering the knees, and from there, she can move into her chaturanga. Now notice, she's basically in a push-up position at this point. So she's got her hands wider, she's got a neutral neck and spine, and as she lowers down, she's gonna let her elbows come out a little bit wider, like a push-up, and she's keeping her shoulders above her elbows versus dumping down into them. And then from there, she does her regular vinyasa, pressing back up to plank, and then back to down dog. So you can see the difference in her shoulders, and you can also feel the difference in your spine because you're decompressing as you roll through that core plank wave. Now, if you wanted to, you could lower the knees, and you could also do the core plank wave from your knees. So finding a little resting pose, maybe half dog or child's pose. She uses her breath, inhale, and as she exhales, she's still getting that nice wave forward through the spine, and then she neutralizes before she moves down into her chaturanga. So her elbows essentially are about 45 degrees as she's lowering down, but we had to start with the hands wider than just shoulder width to keep the shoulders healthy. So if she presses back up, and then you can take a little rest. It's a lot of work, okay? So this is not an easy movement. So doing the traditional jump back, tricep push-up, up dog is actually very advanced. So that's why we like to use the plank wave so that we can move with it more with integrity in our core and decompressing our spine, and that we're getting that nice kind of rolling back of the shoulders, lengthening everything out, and then she still kind of wiggle the toes back, readjust however you need to, but this way we're getting a lot more engagement versus just jumping back, lowering down, and you can move at a slower pace. So one more thing when you're moving through this, sometimes we tend to see people move from their down dog straight into a plank without doing the wave. Yes. So you're gonna kind of miss the benefits of the wave if you don't slow it down and actually lift up. So as she lifts, she's still drawing up, 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 moving forward versus just going straight to a plank. So you want to get that decompression through the spine, and sometimes that just comes with time and practice. So if you feel like this is a movement that's very challenging for you, that you don't get right away, Keep working on it. Let our instructors know if you need some work one-on-one at class. We're happy to give it.